In this lesson we're going to be looking at Adobe InDesign and undertaking a quick tour of its key features, including the use of Adobe Bridge, viewing and navigating a document, text options, images and layers. So first of all we need to go to Bridge and open the lesson 00 file and open the tour done file to see what our objective is in this lesson. So if we open this in InDesign, we can scroll through the document and see what the final result will look like. Now we can close that document and then open up our own original document and save it with a suitable name for us to then work on as we go through this lesson. So we call this tour lesson. Now we can look in the window menu and we can scroll down and look at object and layout and choose navigator. We can see how the navigator dialog works within InDesign. It's very similar to the same feature of Adobe Photoshop except in this case we can view spreads. So we can see that we've got 3 different spreads in this document, and we can use the red outline option to highlight which of the spreads we want to look at, and we can use that same feature to scroll around within a spread. And we can also use the zoom tools to zoom in and out, and you'll see that the red indicator rectangle changes size accordingly. Now if we choose the window menu and choose fit page in window, the current page highlighted in the navigator palette is now optimized within the screen display area on our computer screen. And if we go back to the Windows menu and choose Pages, we can see the pages of our document. If we double click the pages 6 to 7, we will now see page 6 optimized within the window area because we chose fit page in window earlier. And if we go to the view menu and choose fit spread in window instead, we'll see both of the pages 6 and 7 displayed on the screen. If we double click or click a page like page 3, then we go to that page. It's when you double click the page numbers that we can go to the spread. At the bottom of the tools palette we have the option to view our document in preview mode, where we see what the document would look like when printed. There is an option with the bleed, which we will learn about later, and there's also the ability to fit the spread in window and preview what that looks like. And if we go back to normal, and fit page in window and click page 3, we're now on page 3. Now we've got guidelines, so we can show guidelines and you can immediately see that our page is divided up. These are guidelines for us to place content on the page. So if we want to add text, we can choose the text tool and drag a text box in the area that we wish to insert text. When we finish dragging, we're ready to type in text. And in this case we will type in Exploring Mexican Folk Art. Now if we want to select all that text, we can do this in a number of ways, including edit, select all. So we've selected that text and we can change the attributes. So if we go to the control panel at the top, we can choose the font. In this case, Adobe Garamond Pro, which alphabetically is not under A but under G for Garamond, and we'll choose a type size, 18 point, and we're done. So we do edit, deselect all, and nothing is selected on our page. Now a key feature of desktop publishing is placing text. So if we go to the file menu and choose place and navigate to the lesson 0 folder and find the text, our cursor is loaded up with that text. If we position it on the page where we wish to flow text and click, it flows into the space available. At the end of each text box there's a little red out box which we can click to pick up some more text, position our cursor where we want to flow that text and click, and you'll see that that second text box has got an out box as well, a little red box with a plus in it. So if we navigate to another page of our document where we wish to place text and click whilst holding down the Alt key, the cursor remains loaded with text. So we didn't have to click the outbox that time. And we've flowed text into 2 columns on page 4. Now if we click the output of the second column on page 4, navigate to page page 7, and then we can click and place the text in that page until we reach the end of the text, and we can see that we've finished. We can choose save and save our document. Now we've got a pull quote that we can add to our document. It's currently on the pasteboard. So if we fit page in window and go to page 4 of our document, we can use the navigation options at the bottom of the screen. There's a pop-up menu there. We go to page 4, we can see to the left of our page some text which is on the pasteboard. So if we scroll over and click on that text, we can drag it onto our page. So the position of it, we can drag it onto the page and enter attributes of X 4 inches, Y 3 inches to position it on our page. Now if we do view fit page in window, we can optimize our view of that page, and with the text box still selected, we can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move it down the page so that the bottom line of that text box goes through the middle of the red star. Now we're going to add some text wrap, because at the moment there's a clash between the background text and the pull quote, and we can make the background text flow round the pull quote by using text wrap. So if we choose the third option in text wrap, wrap text around object, hey presto, it repels the background text. Now we can colour the box around this pull quote. In the swatches palette, choose the stroke option and choose a Pantone warm red colour to colour that box to make it tone in with the red star. and with it still selected, we can right click on the text frame, the box frame, and choose the line thickness or stroke. If we deselect all, and we can save our work. If we click on that text frame again and choose from the object menu text frame options, at the bottom of that dialog box there's an alignment option. If we choose align center for the vertical justification, click OK, the text in that text box is now aligned centrally within the box and not at the top as previously. Now with it still selected, in the control panel across the top of the screen, we can choose to give it a thick, thin line around the text frame and choose 4-point to give it more presence. So it's now a 4-point thick and thin line. Now if we go back to our pages palette, we can go to page 5, and we're going to adjust the size of an image. So we can click on that blue moon shape, and with the link option chosen next to the horizontal and vertical scale, we can choose 50% and we will achieve a 50% reduction of that blue moon shape. We can now save our work using File, Save.